CBS Sports HQ training camp tour continues. Our lead NFL insider Jonathan Jones making the rounds. JJ out west for Chargers camp. The recent big news is for that guy from the Chargers, where QB Justin Herbert inking a 5-year, $262.5 million extension. Now becomes the highest paid player in the league, the fourth QB, now making over $50 million in a season. The Chargers open up their season against the Dolphins on September 10th. Now, JJ sat down with Chargers head coach Brandon Staley at Chargers camp. Let's listen in.
Jonathan Jones, CBS Sports, alongside Chargers head coach Brandon Staley. And I think we have to start with the newly minted $262.5 million man, Justin Herbert. Like, we've talked with some folks here. We know that the money's not going to change him, but just how happy are you that this got done?
It's a special moment for him, for us, and it's a really good way to kick off the season. And I think, yesterday when we, the team kind of found out, to see our team and how happy they are for him. And, I think out here on this practice field today and seeing the response from the crowd, we're so fortunate that he's our quarterback, that he's the leader of the team. And, just through his first 3 years, I mean, the type of person that he is, the type of competitor, and then the type of player, he's all we could ask for.
Any stress, any anxiety throughout the process on your end?
Not at all. He's so good at the focus part of this game, and he's so committed to his craft. And, it's always been about the team for Justin. And I think that's why everybody respects him so much, is he's doing his best for the team. And so today is, it felt like all the other days, but there was maybe an extra bounce because of, how happy everyone was for him. And, I think what this contract does for him is it shows him the respect that he's earned. And I think what that does is it frees you up, to go be the player and the person that you are.
Offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, obviously curious what sort of impression, what impact he has made so far, specifically on Justin and how we know that he loves to stress defenses, what he's going to be able to do.
Yeah, Kellen's got a phenomenal background, not just in offense, but just I think he's been around so much good football. His dad's a high school coach, played for Chris Peterson at Boise, and he's been a part of a lot of winning football in the NFL as a player and as a coach. And so he's brought a lot to our football team. And offensively, I think what he's done for Justin is just try to get him to play fast. And it sounds so simple, but that's what the best coaches do, and I think that's what the best quarterbacks do. And if you can get a player like Justin to play fast and free, then I think that you're going to see the production and the results that you're looking for. And so I think that that's what we're stressing, is to play fast, to be aggressive. Justin's one of the best decision makers in the NFL, so that's not going to change. But really excited to put in the work together, and that's what this training camp's going to be out for us offensively, is Kellen figuring out who we are. And there's going to be a lot of time between now and our first game, and we just got to put in the right work until our first game.
Fast and aggressive, Brandon. Does that mean that there's going to be some more stretching of the field with Justin, and especially with his arm?
Certainly going to try. You want to stretch it both ways, vertically and horizontally. But, anytime you have a player like Justin who can access any part of the field with the type of accuracy, that's what you want to do. And when, I think our organization has done such a good job of bringing in the weapons so that he can play to that fullest potential of his, which, you've got Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnston, Gerald Everett, Donald Parham, Austin Eckler. Like, you've got the weapons to go, play the way you want to play. So we'll figure it out in training camp, and Justin's going to be putting in all the hard work to get it there.
On the other side of the ball, we're talking about stress and defense. A guy who stresses out a lot of offenses is Derwin James, and he's healthy. You've used him, we all know, in a number of different ways. Is he still going to sort of be that guy who's all over the place, or did you find that, hey, when he's at that safety position or more traditional position, that other guys fill in their roles even better?
I think that what makes him so unique is his ability to play those different roles at such a high level. I think he's that chess piece. I think offensively, like a lot of people are seeing from a Deebo Samuel or a Kyle Juszczyk or a George Kittle, the way Kyle uses Christian McCaffrey. That's the type of player Derwin is he can play star, he can play money, he can play safety, he can play outside linebacker, he can be in those places. And what that does is it gets us in the right matchup. It puts the stress from an identification standpoint, on the offense. And then what I think it does is it opens up things for other guys. By putting him other places, it makes it easier for Khalil and Joey. It makes it easier for our interior D-line, Eric Kendricks, Kenneth Murray. And so we're going to make sure that we use him, to the fullest, because he's a weapon. He's a playmaker. He's a difference maker, and he's the heart of our team.
Obviously, the season didn't end the way that you guys wanted to against Jacksonville. How have you this offseason? Is it buried? Is it gone? Are we not talking about it? Last season was last season. Is it fuel for 2023? How are you trying to do it for yourself, but also for this team?
I think fuel for 2023. I think we faced it. I think anytime you go through a tough game like that, what you got to do is you got to go face it. And this isn't the first time in pro sports where a team has lost a tough game. And that's what I told our team. And what we need to do is, understand why we lost that game. And I know when I left the field that day, I was more confident than ever in this group. And anytime.
Really, why is that?
Just we have the right players, both from an ability standpoint and a leadership standpoint, to get to where we want to go. And what we had to do is we had to go through something for the first time, but to bring this group back, to add the pieces that we've added in the draft and free agency, this team's ready to go have a special season, and we're ready for the work. And I think you draw on examples. I went and spent some time with Steve Kerr in Golden State, and Greg Popovich, and you take a look at all these other sports, and I think in some of the examples that I tried to go seek some wisdom from is, hey, the response was really, really big because they had the right group of guys, and that's where our focus is going to be. And this group is made up of the right stuff, and we just got to put in the right work in training camp.
Brandon, when you and I last spoke at the Combine, we talked about how that this team on a talent level stacks up to Kansas City, to the defending world champs, but you said the difference was the experience. Do you guys do you have that experience? Has the gap lessened, I guess, between yourselves and a defending world champion?
Yeah, I mean, we've got so much respect for them. We've had 4 incredible games with those guys, and it's just every time we play, it's one of the premium games in the NFL. But I think with Andy being there since 2013, they're just that thing's been going for a while, and you can tell, and they have the experience. They're premium players, have been in a ton of big games together, and when you're at the beginning of something, you got to go through those experiences. You got to get into the playoffs. You got to be in the big games together to know how to play those games. And so I thought last year was a good step for us, and the way it ended, none of us expect to lose a game like that, but we have to face that we did. But this group's ready to respond, and like I said, we're just excited about training camp, putting in the right work.
I'll wrap with this, Brandon. What's going to be the difference between the 2022 Chargers and the 2023 Chargers?
You're going to see. You guys will see a lot better than you hear. So we're not interested in making any predictions right now. We're just interested in doing all the hard work, and I think all of you guys will see it, eventually.
Good deal. Brandon Staley, Chargers head coach. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
JJ bringing us so much good stuff from his training camp tour. Next up on the agenda, he's got the Rams, followed by the Cowboys, where Brandon Baylor will be listening in closely on July 28th, followed by the 49ers, and then on July 31st, double duty with the Jags and the Bills.